Mr. Birdie and members of the board, we do have two items for board discussion this evening, both of which will be covered by Mandy Ogg. So at this time, I'll turn it back over to Mandy.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Birding, members of the board, I'm presenting you tonight with the middle school and high school programs of study. The program of studies contains important information regarding course offerings and other relevant academic program information that students and parents will need in order to schedule courses for the upcoming academic year. Mrs. Postfishel works diligently with the secondary principals and assistant principals to make sure this contains all necessary and accurate information. So I want to thank her for that since she's here tonight, and thank all of our principals for their active participation. The changes this year were minor. So for example, we combined the two letters in the beginning of the high school program into one letter that was written to the students and signed by their principals. We included show choir, of course, as an option under the PE waiver. In the middle school program of study, there are two new science elective courses for the year. The teachers really wanted to create some STEM-based, hands-on courses that were more relevant for the students, well, maybe more exciting for the students. And so next year, they will have their choice in 7th grade to take dynamic dissections, and in 8th grade, POW, physics of the world. So nothing major to report on. Of course, I know this is a lot of information that I just put in front of you, so feel free to email me or call me if you have any questions as you look over it, in the next month. But of course, if you have questions right now, take them.
Any questions from the board?
A question about Algebra 3. Is that one of our new ones? Okay, maybe it is. Is it one of our new ones? I do not recall seeing an Algebra 3.
Let the expert please approach the bench.
That Algebra 3 came about at the beginning of this school year. We met with Ms. Kim Snyder, who is the department head of the math department. It was Ryan Bellamy, the assistant principal, Ms. Ogg, and myself. And we had conversations about ensuring that there was something for those students who may not be in the pre-calculus or the AP calculus world. And so what that allows the students to do is kind of continue on that traditional path of the Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, and then Algebra 3. Kim Snyder and her department has worked diligently to look over the curriculum for Algebra 3 and making sure that it will be most beneficial for the students.
Okay, so that's not taking the place of advanced pre-calculus?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
It's an addition to,
In an addition.
added class, yes.
All right, great.
Any other questions? Thank you.
All right, and now EL program needs assessment. I'll turn it back to Mandy.
So I wanted to share some information with you regarding a process we will be starting sometime in February. The local education service centers offer a service called a program audit or a program needs assessment. So this tool can look at things like compliance, best practice, teacher practice, student practice, resources, student experience, parent experience, etc. The framework and the process is customized to meet the needs of the district, and it's done in cooperation with the district leaders who oversee the program so that the feedback from that needs assessment is providing information that meets the district's needs and wants. As part of this process, the ESC will collect data, develop surveys, conduct interviews as needed, and they take all of this information to provide a report back to the district. This then allows us to address anything that might need our immediate attention, and most importantly, it allows us to create a plan to guide the improvement of the program over the next several years. So I went to do a needs assessment for our K-12 English Learner Program. And there are a couple of reasons I want to start with our EL program. One is very personal. I haven't had a lot of experience. I don't come from a district that had a large EL population, and so it's just something that gives me a little bit of anxiety as a leader that I haven't had a lot of experience, and I just want to know more. This is going to give me a lot of information. It allows me to really engage in the process and learn more about EL programs, not just here in Fairfield, but it will also connect me to other models that I might want to look at. So obviously, it'll provide my department also with valuable information about what our teachers, students, and administrators might need. As the board also knows, Fairfield has a growing EL population. And I think this is a good time to take a look at our practices and our continuum of services, since this really affects over 10% of our student population, and it's a population we know is growing. So I'm excited to start this process next month. I wanted the board to know about it in advance in case you had any questions or someone asked you a question about it. And if you would like, once this process is completed, we can even come back and give a presentation to the board so that we can share what we learned with you. You have any questions?
Questions, comments? I think this is very important. I think we have seen over our short time as board members how dramatically it's increasing our EL population. And I'm actually very excited that you've seen that and want to attack it and get more information, because there are unknowns that we don't know what we don't know.
Yes.
And so I think any information that you get and report back to us would be amazing. So that's the will of the
Yeah.
board.
No, it's- When you said it, it's 11% of all our students.
Yeah.
And you need to embrace it. And, we need to be on the right side of it, for sure. That's great.
And I have been through this process previously. I just know the value in it, and so I think that's why I'm so eager to get it started, because I know on the back end how much information you get and what you can do with that information. So I'm just very excited. So thank you.
Great. Thank you.